Hey, what is going on, everybody? Jacob here. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. Now, before I jump into today's video, I want you to express a sincere form of gratitude for all of our frontline workers who are doing an amazing job kind of holding down the fort and sacrificing themselves while we kind of are able to do our part and stay home. I've personally got a lot of family and friends who are frontline workers, cops, nurses, doctors, and after talking to them, I just honestly, again, I just get an immense sense of gratitude for what they're doing and a lot of pride for having these amazing people hold down the fort for us. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, all of you guys, stay safe. I also wanted to talk about how obviously right now we are all going through something crazy that nobody could have expected 60 days ago. So it's completely understandable why anxieties are extremely high. People are having a very hard time with this. Some people's situations are even more difficult than others, but it's an adjustment for everybody. So no matter, even if you're comfortable at home, it's still difficult to process what's going on. And it's normal, it's understandable. But what I can tell you is we are all going to get through it. We're all in the same boat together. And eventually we will come out on the other side of this. I think the most important thing right now is to focus on the things that you can control. And now, having said, focus on things that we can control. Again, guys, we are still operational as real estate agents. We're deemed essential. I can tell you right now, I have nobody essential to help at the moment. All of our deals, we've already firmed up or held off on everything we tried to at the end of March. So no new cases are popping up at the moment. However, we're still here fielding calls, answering questions. We're setting up a lot of our clients in our database with notifications of houses that are being listed and sold, just so you can kind of keep track of what's happening in your neighborhood. We're setting up digital coffees, so if you want to actually set up an appointment. So we're still doing things. We're still here to help, but my recommendation is if it's not absolutely integral that you need to sell, I would hold off and not spend so much time, wondering what's going to happen or making guesses or worrying about really the things that are beyond our control. The reason I say that is because I've fielded a lot of calls. They're asking on, should I be selling my house right now? Should I wait? Or is the crash is going to be coming? Should I be buying? What's the best way to approach it? Should I be selling my house and renting for a little while? And there's a lot of, uncertainty in the air, which makes sense. I just wanted to caution people on putting too much weight into what anyone says. I get asked all the time and I say, look, my point of view is my point of view because of my experiences and what I believe is correct, but I've been wrong a million times and I'm going to continue to be wrong. Nobody can predict what's going to happen in the next 30, 60, 90 days. No federal government, no economist, nobody can tell you with 100% certainty what's going to happen. So I really caution people on taking too much weight into what the things people say. It's very easy to look back, hindsight 2020, and say, oh, this is why things played out the way they did. It's another to predict how things are going to move forward. This week, I'll be reviewing a couple articles in the National Post. One on the same page. One said, the day of reckoning is here for Canada real estate. And then the very next article is saying why prices are going to pop once activity resumes. So it's very easy to have an opinion. In addition to that, people never ask your barber if you need a haircut. And I know my barber would tell me that I definitely need a haircut at this point, but I think it's really important that when you ask somebody for advice or what they should do, you should also figure out what is this person going to benefit from. You don't ask your barber when you need a haircut. You go to them whenever you actually want your haircut. You're not going to call your plumber asking them when you should get your drains fixed. You're going to call them when you have a flood or a leak. And you shouldn't be calling your real estate agent to ask them when you should be selling. You're going to contact them when it's time to actually sell and you want their help. And having said that, I always want to know more. It's never a blanket answer of, yes, this is what you should do for every person. What might work for me is not going to work for you or the next person. So why are you moving? What's your needs? I always recommend moving, buying or selling based on actual needs. If you're outgrowing the home is too big for you, something unfortunate has happened in your life and you have to downsize. These are all reasons and it's understandable. But to make a decision based on what you believe is going to happen, just trying to predict the market, it's unnecessary and it's very risky. I know a client, this always reminds me of a client of mine. In 2015, he called me and he said, hey, I want to sell. Can you come over? We did the whole consult. And when I was asking him, okay, where are you guys going to buy? He said, no, we're going to rent for the next little while. And when the market crashes, we're going to jump back in. Since then, the market has jumped up 40%, crashed 20%, rebounded, and now we're going through another cycle, and they have yet to jump back in to ownership. So timing a market is like that jump rope game. Eventually, you're going to time it wrong, and it's going to tangle you up. So it's never recommended to make decisions based on what you think is going to happen, because in all probabilities, you're more than likely going to be wrong. Some people genuinely might believe that the market's going to crash. There's a real estate agent in Vancouver. She sent a letter out to everybody on her database, said, hey, now's the time to sell. If you're planning on selling in 6 months, do it now, because the market's going to go through some pretty difficult times up ahead. I could see where her perspective is coming from, and she caught a lot of flack for telling people that. And on the other side, you've got real estate agents that will tell you to hold on and ride this out. I'm in that exact same boat, but I can still see why the other agent said that. But at the end of the day, it's all opinions. Nobody's predicting or telling you 100% this is what's going to happen moving forward. However, like I mentioned, when you're talking to people about having skin in the game, I always ask people, if you're giving me advice, are you doing the exact same thing? And so, not with the real estate agent hat on, but Jacob as the homeowner or the investor, I'm not liquidating any assets. I'm not selling my primary residence. I'm not selling any rentals. I don't think the market's going to be crashing. And even if it did, I'm in it for the long haul. When I look at my investment outlook, I'm not worried about what's happening in the next 3 to 5 years. I'm not even looking at what's happening in the next 10 years. I'm looking at real estate as a long-term hold. So I'm expecting these kinds of dips, but at the end of the day, I genuinely still believe real estate is one of the best assets to hold in the long run. A lot of people disagree with me. So no, I'm not liquidating. I'm not selling. I'm not doing anything. I think Durham Region's fundamentals are extremely strong. And other than that, again, I tell people never to sell real estate if they can get away with it. If my client calls me and says, hey, I want to look into buying a home, I need you to give me an evaluation on the property, I'll give you an evaluation, but I will also give you an idea of what you can rent it out for. And I always confirm, I go, are you sure you want to sell this? Real estate ownership is never going to be a bad thing when you look at a long enough time frame. I know we all have done it. Your parents have done it. You've done it, where you go, I wish I didn't sell that home back then. It would be worth this much money right now. That's something that plays out cyclical. It constantly happens. So if you can hold real estate, I think that's one of the best things you can do. But again, I'm a real estate agent. I'm going to have my bias involved with that answer. So all right, guys, so that's it for today. I hope you're all staying safe and doing well. Any questions, comments, please never hesitate to reach out. I am in quarantine just like the rest of you guys. So I hope you're all doing well, and we'll talk soon. Bye.